Suppose you, as a public health expert, have been posted to a district which has very high maternal mortality rate. It has been seen that the district is not able to provide ultrasound services, so high-risk pregnancies are not adequately identified. And that's one of the primary reasons why there is a high maternal mortality in that particular district. The entire administration is shaken up. They want to provide ultrasonography services, at least at the district level, and you have been asked to look into it. How to go about it? How do you strategize for this? In the previous videos, we have talked about the SOAR analysis, SWOT analysis. We also talked about the TOWS analysis. In this particular video, we shall talk about the PESTLE analysis. Hi, welcome to our channel. There are many factors which are internal to the institution. For example, if it's a district hospital, there would be some unique strengths and weaknesses that the hospital has. There could be some aspirations that its HR or its leaders have. But how do you explore the opportunities and challenges or threats, whatever you call it, opportunities or challenges adequately? Could there be a structured approach to it? Now, an institution operates within a micro environment. So there are different factors. So the institution's internal factors, that means its HR, its assets, its SOPs, its TORs, whatever processes, organizational culture that organization has, these are internal factors. Now, it would be interacting with the micro environment around it. For example, if in this case, there are pregnant women, high-risk pregnant women who are turning up at the district hospital, the district hospital does not have ultrasound services, then it would be referring out. That means there could be ultrasound services available in the private sector, and these patients are interacting with those private providers. Of course, the quality is then very heterogeneous and not standardized. There could be ambulance services, private ambulances, or even public funded ambulances. There could be some other mechanism, maybe biomarkers. Some biomarkers could be tested in the private labs outside the district hospital, which could still help in making a diagnosis, even if an ultrasound is not available. So there are certain interactions happening with the microenvironment. And those are like the way this district hospital would perform would change the nature of these interactions, or the nature of these interactions may influence the way the district hospital operates. Some control is exerted between these two, the microenvironment and the internal institutional factors. There is an approach to understand the microenvironment in business management, the Porter's forces, 5 forces. That's a very standard framework that people use. Here we are actually going to talk about the macro factors, macro environmental factors, on which this particular institution does not have a direct control, but these macro factors exert a direct influence on the performance of this institution. For that, what we do is a PESTLE analysis. P for political, E for economic, S for social, technological, legal, and environmental. People call it PESTLE. Some people call it PESTEL, whatever sequence. It's just an abbreviation. Political, economic, social, technological, legal, and environmental. Now, if we look at the PESTLE analysis, the PESTLE domains, we will be able to plot the opportunities and the challenges in a more detailed way. Let's look at it. In this particular example, where we are trying to strengthen ultrasonographic services at the district hospital level, maybe you want to propose a pitch for a PPP, a public-private partnership model, through which you would mobilize a private partner to provide ultrasonography services at the district hospital. Let us consider what are the PESTLE factors operating here. Political. Now we all know that India has committed itself very strongly to reduction in maternal mortality rate. We have made good progress also. Still, there are certain aspirational districts where maternal mortality rates are really, really bad. We need to improve on that. Now the government is committed in terms of its mission. There is also a commitment to the Sustainable Development Goals. And we really want, if we say that this intervention will help in reduction of MMR, no government would say anything that opposes this intent. So the political environment is favorable. So this is a clear opportunity. Let's look at the economic environment. We know that maternal mortality, like providing specialist care for maternal mortality, especially people who have landed up in complications, is going to cost some good amount. In the absence of universal health coverage, or free services at least, these beneficiaries are likely to incur much out-of-pocket expenditure. But in recent times, there is a massive movement around universal health coverage. And we have also seen that with the Janani Suraksha Yojana and a gamut of other maternal safe motherhood initiatives and services, RMNCH plus A initiatives and others, and with increased focus on quality of care around pregnancy, around delivery, it's very clear that even if it is at a cost, the government is ready to bear that cost. We have had good experience with direct cash transfer schemes, and there is a good traction coming from the beneficiary end. So economically, even if we say that, okay, we are going to offer a certain ultrasonographic service through the PPP model, there is someone who is ready to bear the cost, the beneficiary or maybe the government. And some insurance scheme could operate here. So it could be a sustainable model. But again, the cost has to be in tune with what the government can commit. It cannot be astounding. It seems that the economic model may work out, right? So that again is an opportunity. Coming to the next one, the S, the social element of it. What we see is with the passage of time, family sizes have shrunk. The rates of cesarean sections are likely are going up, even in the public sector. People are now wanting 1 or 2 pregnancies mostly, and with a safe outcome. They do not want to take chances and prefer availing diagnostic services whenever they're available. So if an ultrasound service is available in the DH, very likely the utilization would be high. So socially, there is a change. There is an increased acceptance of investigations during pregnancy. There is an uptake, and with the modernization and delayed child bearing and also shrinking family sizes, people want to be very sure that even if they have a high-risk pregnancy, the outcome is good. So they would take up the services. Socially, it seems that times are favorable to launch ultrasonography services at the district level. Let's look at the technology part of it. Technology, again, seems to be favorable because we are having portable ultrasonography now. We are having fairly automated machines where you can, a remotely located radiologist can actually see and give a diagnosis. Data archiving, data management, data transfer processes have improved. So it seems that technologically, ultrasonography services could be made available at the DH level, at the district hospital level, even if there could be some gaps in HR, in skilled HR. Some mitigated mechanisms could be built into it with the help of technology. Let's look at the legal part of it now. So we talked about the political, economic, social, technological. Now let's look at the legal part of it. Ultrasonography is a very guarded service that one needs to provide. The MTP Act is particularly sensitive to sex determination, and it is very much, it's extremely punishable an offense. So even if one offers sonography services, it has to be compliant to the MTP Act and its requirements. So there will be some regulatory requirements that the service provider must meet, and that is a challenge. Last one is the environmental one. In a PESTLE analysis, not all domains are equally important for the type of situation we're dealing with. In some instances, the political part could be more dominant. In some instances, the economic part could be dominant. In some instances, the environmental part could be dominant. With increasing awareness about environmental health and climate health, this E element has become very important. In the context of, say, someone is setting up an industry, a factory, there the ecosystem's E element, that is the environmental regulation element, is very important. Here in our particular case, in ultrasonography, setting up an ultrasonography service at the DH level, the E element doesn't seem to be as important as the L element. Still, ultrasonography is a fairly safe procedure. It does not require any kind of radioactive material use. It doesn't use any such material. It does not create any such waste. So overall, it is an environmentally friendly intervention or service. So we don't have anything to be worried about. I would say that in this context, the environmental element is neither an opportunity nor a challenge. So it's a neutral thing here. So when we look at the PESTLE part of it, PESTLE analysis of setting up ultrasonography services at the DH in the PPP model. We have enumerated many such aspects of it. But remember that all aspect, like each and every aspect, need not be equally thought through. We need to prioritize. So once we have listed down, we must see what are our data sources from where we could cull out some data to look at the situation, the trends across each of this item. Depending on the data trends, we can then further determine whether this is really an important threat, an important challenge, or is it really a time-sensitive opportunity that we must cash upon, knowing our strengths and weaknesses. Now, that means after doing SWOT analysis and PESTLE analysis, the team has to sit down, brainstorm, and strategize. Without these kind of frameworks, usually our approaches are likely to be lopsided. I hope this gave a perspective as we look at strategizing for public health interventions. Thank you so much.